You guys remember this? Yeah, it's been a while, right, since this last prototype. We've been building prototypes out of 3D printed parts. You can see the plastic here, the, the motor, and I actually tried to make it with just one motor, and here at the front we had one normal wheel with spacers that are 3D printed as well. Hey, I'm Daniel, I'm founder of Thunderblade. I've been here on this channel building, rebuilding, breaking, and setting them on fire. It's been all about making the dream a reality, trying to get electric inline skates into reality and trying to educate more people so we could be more, trying to get more people into this so we can prove there's a market, so we can actually make more brands and more products involving electric inline skates. So yeah, this is the prototype I've built 3 years ago. It works very well. It didn't break, okay? So it's really good. It's a little on the heavy side. The electronics are here, but the battery is used on a belt or a backpack. You don't have the batteries inside because that is too heavy, and you have it's just simpler to test things having the battery outside. When I done the Thunderblade in 2018, I had the battery inside and I didn't use a hub motor. So it's way more complex. So yeah, I actually started with the more complex and actually evolved into something simpler, which is unfortunately heavier. So I had to take the battery off to make it lighter and simpler to build. My main goal with this one was to have it open sourced and you could download the files and print it, okay? But yeah, I've been doing this for a while now, but 2 years ago, something happened and I actually had to stop putting videos on YouTube and actually had to stop skating altogether for a while because, you know, what happened? So 2 years ago, I was actually active here on YouTube putting videos, but unfortunately, I had a financial problem. I was trying to make YouTube a priority. I had to work to pay my bills. And unfortunately, my work was not paying the bills. And I had to try to make ends meet. I actually traded my car in for a new car so I could Uber. I was driving around 50 hours a week on top of doing my personal training job. Still, I couldn't make ends meet. I worked for a year like this, and then I gave up. I was having problems on my shoulder. I had problems on my back. So yeah, it was not working very well. So what happened? I gave up Uber, I sold my car, and was like, okay, now let's focus on trying to study so I can go into a government job here. In Brazil, it's a really good career. They pay very well and have stability. So I studied a lot to try to go into one of these. You actually need to pass a written test. And I was actually studying really well, doing a lot of tests. There's a lot of these spots on the government. One day, on the day of a test, I was walking my dog. And while playing with my dog, which is a German Shepherd dog, so you know it's a big dog, she was still a puppy, but even so, it was like a 25 kilograms puppy, or for you Americans, around 50 pounds, no, a lot more than 50 pounds puppy. And while playing with her, she actually jumped on me and tripped me backwards. And I don't know what happened. I couldn't react fast enough and I fell down on my back. But it wasn't just my back that hit the ground. Unfortunately, I hit my head. So yeah, I actually broke my skull because I hit my head on concrete, like really hard concrete. I was very lucky. It wasn't like really bad, but was still a cracked head. What happened is around here, I hit the back of my head, but it was not too low. Otherwise, it would be very much more dangerous. But it wasn't like here. It was here. But the impact actually broke around here. So on this area of the head, the breaking of the bone actually made a little bit of internal bleeding. Not a lot, but a little. I had my face all swollen up, like a face melting kind of thing on the days afterwards. The main problem is the bleeding affected my inner ear. Not only I couldn't put anything on my head for a while, I couldn't even walk because it was affecting my balance. Every time I moved my head, I would get really, really dizzy. Walking was really hard. I couldn't drive. So I spent a month without working and a year without skating. So the whole of 2025, I couldn't skate. So yeah, if I could not skate, I was just trying to focus on studying for my written tests and doing my job as a personal trainer. Right now, I wasn't successful on passing the test, but I'm back on skates and I'm back on YouTube as well. And this time, I will not rest until we make this dream reality. I have some news regarding this. I wasn't just studying, I was trying to develop this a little bit further. So what I have right now is this, but in a slightly different version. What is this? This is the same part. See, this is the 3D printed part. You can see that it's thinner here, and thicker, so it can withstand things. It's sturdy like this. On the vertical side, it's very sturdy, but on the side, it's like not that much, but it resists a little bit, right? So it kind of worked. So I got the same dimensions and got this out of steel. You send the file to a company and they use a machine and use plasma, which is the pretty name of fire, and cut this with a robot. Just like 3D printing, but the opposite, like taking material off. The same measurements as this one. You can see they're the same. I changed something. I actually have a shadow, right? A shadow boot, which is the boot I was using for the prototype. This 3D printed part here is the one that you attach the boot, and you get this one, and you put it here and screw it. That's how you attach the frame to the boot. Using this method, I can use UFS, SSM 165, or even Trinity. But here, like this. So I could just get this one out of steel and just put here. But instead, I also asked them to cut these parts. What are these parts? These are the top, the part that goes to the boot. So what I did is this. I carved this indentation here so I could like get this. And then I could get another one and fit them together like this. And when they are like this, I can then weld them together. So instead of having screws to hold the thing together, I would just use this and weld them together. But the thing is, I also messed up a little bit. This is not a laser cut piece. This is a plasma cut. And plasma cut has a little bit of a bigger error than the laser. Laser doesn't have that much thickness, but a plasma has. Plasma has about, get that, 0.5 millimeter to 1 millimeter of error. So when doing like axle holes, then the axle couldn't go through because it was like 1 millimeter smaller than it should be. So I had to get a drill and drill it. And of course, on these indentations as well, you can see a little bit of damage here because I had to manually file them down so it could fit here. Now it fits because I filed them down. I sanded like this. I had a Dremel and then I had to file them down 1 millimeter or so it could fit here. Now I'm going to take it somewhere for welding. I mean, I could have welded myself, but that's the other part of the story. I don't have a house anymore. I used to live in a house so I could have a workshop in the garage, but I don't have a garage anymore. I live in an apartment building right now. So it's really hard for me to actually build these things. And then it's going to take a while for me to actually be able to build them myself. So I cannot do that. Instead, I'm going to be focusing the channel on teaching the basics and the concepts around building electric landscapes and vlogging a little bit about using electric landscape. So both of these directions actually help our cause, okay? Because a lot of people don't care for DIYing things, and a lot of people like to see, so some people don't like the DIY approach. Some people just want to buy the product, but we don't have a lot of options right now. And what can we do about that? I intend to do vlogs so more people get interested in using electric landscapes, because I'll try to put the feeling of this on YouTube for more people to see. If we make it more approachable for more people, it's easier to prove there is a market for this. So yeah, expect a lot more vlogging, especially when I finish building this new prototype. I will be showing a lot of this around, showing how much it can take, showing other interesting places to go and how to use them, and what are the differences between using electric landscapes versus normal landscapes. Also, if you watch the manifesto, the other videos I've put before this on the channel, we're calling them, from now on, we don't call them electric landscapes anymore. Okay, because electric landscapes, one, it's kind of long, but it doesn't actually transmit the feeling of this. These are not only motorized skates, these are a whole new genre of vehicle. So I thought to myself, I needed a new name so I could have more attention online, because at the end of the day, we need more people. So just calling them electric landscapes also would get us mixed together with electric skateboards. Okay, if you search Google, if you search YouTube for electric skates, you will find only electric skateboard, because they actually own that term. So from now on, we're calling them storm tracers. I know a lot of you guys can actually get the reference, but for you guys that don't know air gear, storm tracers represent a kind of freedom you don't have with anything else. You cannot get this with a bike, a motorcycle, normal skates, or electric skateboards. Having motors attached to your feet makes everything different. It's a whole different kind of freedom, but it's not like the kind of gentle freedom only. You have that kind of freedom as well, but it's more powered, if pun intended, right? Because you have power on your feet. Anyway, so because we're riding into the storm, we're not storm riders, because we're not riding the storm. We are riding into the storm and tracing the storm into the city. So these are storm tracers. So from now on, we call them storm tracers. It's a name for a movement, not for hardware. It doesn't need to be attached to Thunderblade. It's the name of the category. The whole movement is the storm tracer. So when you are electric inline skating into the city, you are actually tracing the storm. It's just a better name. I know this is a movement that will grow. It will take shape and form and have its own life. It's not only me, it's about us. We are gonna make this, we are going to take this higher and higher. So yeah, expect a lot more vlogging, going into the city, doing errands, and basically just using this on daily life, and also trying to figure out the limits, because the real life use case studies we're going to do around this with the vlogs are going to help us develop this even further, because I will be putting this, you'll be commenting and helping me find more limits to test or things that you would enjoy having. We don't have a lot of options in the market, So we have to build our own for now. But the more we build, the more we prove there is a market and more brands will follow. So yeah, I'm back. We're going to ride into the storm. We're gonna trace that storm and we're gonna get these things, this movement higher and higher. And that's it for today. And I'm gonna see you way more often, don't worry. Storm Tracers out.